Hello and welcome back to the Pixel Street Podcast. This is episode 229 of the show. This is the show where each and every week me and John get together and we talk about video games. And this is a big week, not in terms of news, but in terms of games, John.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Tears of the Kingdom, massive. Can't wait. So excited. But I will say, like, even though the news isn't like popping off right now, I feel like there's a little bit more than we would usually get at this time of year.
John, you
Because
know what? You know what's surprising is we don't have any Xbox acquiring Activision drama to report this week.
you know, I could have actually pulled something,
I know. I
but
was gonna say
I am
if we
I
wanted
am
to,
so done.
if we
I'm so
wanted to,
done
we
talking
we
about
100% could find something that's new, but there's nothing major, right? There's nothing
no.
that's being retweeted by everybody about that deal going through or not going through this week. So
Yeah,
that's that. Honestly, that's exciting to me.
get ready to strap in and deal with hearing about all this legal stuff for the next, I don't know, year. Ugh,
Year plus, maybe it's
yeah,
wild.
I'm
Um,
just done with it.
but yeah, at any rate, let's get housekeeping out of the way. Sorry, I got so sidetracked. I took a week off the show, John. Not good.
I
Not
know you
good.
weren't
I'm
there
very
yesterday
sidetracked.
or last week, not yesterday.
I
You
know.
weren't there yesterday either.
Yeah, I got a story to tell you about over the weekend, but I'll tell that in a minute. Um, yeah, if you want, you can follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street. Check out the pin tweet there where you can find links to all of our social media accounts, including our Discord. That's where me, John, and usually Spence just argue about nothing.
Something,
I mean, something and nothing, right?
something about nothing.
Something about nothing. But yeah, join the Discord. Let us know what games you're playing. Post your screenshots and stuff from games, clips, whatever you want. Come hang out. We'd love to have you. Uh, Also, check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Pixel Street Videos.
Yeah,
That sounds
you
right.
can. Yep, you can jump into the chat like Brandon Addison is right now. He says, "Hello, beautiful folks."
Yeah, feel free to
I'm
do
not the
that.
beautiful one. He's talking
Neither am
about Jack
I.
over here.
Yeah, he's talking about your posters, your Zelda posters,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I feel like you put those posters too close together.
Hmm.
You definitely did.
I
There
did,
should
yeah.
be like 2 or 3 inches between those of white space.
Joel, I am not a very design oriented person. I don't know if you know this. I actually have a third one. It's like a list of all of the songs from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and it's got like all the notes put on it, but it kept falling down, so I haven't put it back up yet. Um, yeah, my plan wasn't to stay in this place very long, but since I got laid off and money is kind of a big stress point for me right now, I'm kind of waiting on. I'm probably going to stay here another year, so I do want to fill this wall out with more posters and stuff
Do it.
because I
Don't keep putting
always
it off because the longer you put it off, the more you're like, ah, I'll be out of here in 8 months.
right. That's exactly what I've done for the last year. That's why I still have that box of consoles and stuff on my stairway. But yeah, that's the plan. I want to fill it out with more than just Zelda here.
Very nice. I want to get to the story I was going to tell you.
Go
So
for it.
I went to Iowa over the weekend. Um, it was
Me
like a
too.
4 day trip. So did John. Not with me, completely separate,
No,
like literally hours apart, probably. Um,
still in
but yeah,
Iowa.
it was a 5 hour drive from Chicago. Me and like 11 of my dude friends rented a lake house just to hang out. It was on the Mississippi River, super fucking flooded, so couldn't really do anything
Hmm.
on that part. But the last night we were there, some of us were like, we were staying in like a really small town called Harper's Ferry, Iowa, and that John, this place, yo, kind of racist. Not gonna lie, we walked past a building that just had a noose hanging from the building, which is really fucked up. Like
Jesus.
really fucked up. Um, but yeah, last night we were there, we decided like let's go to the local bar, right? Let's see what's going on at the local bar. So four of us walked there. John, when I tell you we stuck out like a sore thumb, it's ridiculous. We were the only people in that bar not wearing any form of camo. No form of camo. We were the only people. We had people coming up to us asking us where we were from.
Mhm.
Like, and then second question would be like, why are you like, why here? Like, where are you from? Chicago. And it's like, oh, why are you here? And then the third question would always be like, where are you guys staying? Just like,
Mhm.
I don't know, because
Right.
like I guess like people don't go there to rent houses, like,
No.
but this was like a brand new lake house, so I think that's why there was confusion because like most of the houses there are like really worn out and like some of them are like trailers. So like people were just like where are 12 dudes from Chicago staying in this town? It was
Yeah.
just hilarious cuz we took over like they had touch tunes, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically a jukebox where you can download the app and pay to play songs and stuff. We took that shit over and we were playing like the Killers and stuff and man, these people were
They
not having it.
they were not
They were
happy that you took their country away from them.
John, there was a point we have a video which I should share in the Discord where me and my friends are all screaming singing the Killers on one side of the it's a U-shaped bar.
Mhm.
One side of the bar it's like me, my three buddies and these two random chicks that were hanging out with us. And then there's like a 10-foot gap from anybody else sitting at the bar and the other side of the bar just like all these older country people just staring at us.
Yep.
So that I have a video of that, and then at one point there was some guy on the other side like screaming some country song at us. It was just like people live out here. Like this is
Yeah,
crazy.
they do.
We
What
asked the
you
townie John. We asked the townie about the noose, which is like
mhm.
I'd assume is the only noose in town, right? Her response, "What noose?
Which one?
Are you kidding me? That the one that's like three doors down from here."
Yeah. About everything that you just described outside of the news thing is a pretty typical small town Iowa thing.
I'm pretty sure that's
Uh,
how like small towns everywhere are, with in terms of like people not liking people of culture.
yeah,
Like if you play the Killers, like they don't even know what that is.
yeah. No, yeah, no, that's very up to code with what I know of a small town Iowa. with with me like spending over 20 years of my life in one, I get it.
Yeah. But anyway, I did play a few games while I was there. I'm going to talk about these right now because it's very quick. I played because there was a PlayStation 2 in the basement. I played Madden 06, which
Oh,
does
that's
not
a good
does
one.
not stand the test of time. It just really
Not
it
not on PS2. No.
no, it just it's really fun to see the old rosters and like old players and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, a game takes forever in that because they did not have accelerated clocks, which sucked.
Mhm.
So we played Madden 06 and we also played like one of the Crash Team Racing games. Maybe it was Crash Nitro.
Nitro Kart. Yeah,
Yeah, we played that one a little bit. But
that
yeah,
one's pretty good.
I played another game on my way down there, but we'll talk about that later.
Cool.
For now, let's get into the main topics, John. The main topic of the show being that Game Freak, which is best known for making all the main line Pokemon games, um, and Private Division announced a new IP called Project Bloom.
Yeah.
I don't know too much
So,
about this other than like what I've heard on other podcasts.
well, that's the thing. They really didn't announce much. They kind of
It's a
just they
ninja
showed
game, right?
it. Kind of looks like it if you can pull up the tweet that I linked in there.
Yeah.
Um, they just kind of said that it's an action adventure game, and then they showed off some concept art that you just alluded to, and I don't it it looks really cool. It looks very much not like Game Freak, in all honesty, which is kind of exciting to me. Uh, yeah, I'm very interested to see what comes of this. It's also very cool to see Game Freak working with Private Division. Although you only think of Game Freak as the Pokemon developers, they are an independent company. So they have these games that you probably never heard of on other consoles. Like Timbo the Badass Elephant is an Xbox One game that I remember enjoying. Uh, what's it called? Pocket Card Jockey, I want to say, originally was a 3DS game, but with that shop shutting down, it's now an Apple Arcade game, I want to say. So they kind of go all over the place when they want to. Uh, if they kind of stick to what my first impression of this concept art is, I'm like, Private Division, they were the publishers for the Outer Worlds, and I love the the money they put behind that project. If they can do something similar to that, like just from a financial standpoint, like they really want to commit to putting financial backing into this game, I'm pretty excited because that's not really something we see in the Pokemon games recently. I want to see what Game Freak can do when they have the backing and all of they don't have this like fucking deadline that's like, hey, it's a year and we haven't seen a Pokemon game. We have to get something out now. Like, you know what I mean? So
I mean,
I'm
for me, it's not only that. I think I'm excited to see with if Game Freak has a big enough budget, you know, from Project or fuck, what's the company name?
the
Private Division. I keep wanting to say
private.
Project Bloom, but that's the name of the game.
Yeah,
Um, if they do have a big backing from Private Division, I want to see like what they can do, right? Because like in terms of Pokemon, we know Pokemon has all the money in the world. But
hmm
what's limiting Pokemon games, I think, is very much the hardware of the Nintendo Switch or whatever the Nintendo platform they're making the game on is.
part of it is. I will say the Pokemon company in general, I really feel like they are undercutting them. We had this discussion with Scarlet and Violet with how bad that game runs on the Switch, where I said like the Switch can play Breath of the Wild just fine. Like there's no excuse for Scarlet and Violet to play this bad. I really think that is a situation where the Pokemon company is trying to push the product out before it's like fully done.
Yeah, but like imagine if you could play Pokemon like 4K, 60 frames a second. It would be fucking amazing.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. Like it'd be cool to see if Game Freak is gonna make a game that's on all platforms, including Series X, PC, PS5. Like see how great it can look and run, especially
that
given like this concept art. It looks very detailed and in depth. Like it looks
mhm.
really fucking cool. Like I want to see more of what this game is.
Yeah, me too. I'm very interested in it. I'm right there with you that I want this game to come out on other consoles, and I think it will. In fact, I think this may be a situation where it might not come to the Switch. Well, okay, they said that they expect it to come out in 2025, 2026. So by then, the next Nintendo console is going to be out. Who knows where we'll be at for power wise then. But as we sit here today, I would expect this not to be planned on a Nintendo console. Um, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. You have in here. What do you think this game will be like? I think it'll
Yeah,
be an open world game. I don't know, like just based on what the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was, where it's kind of open world, go do whatever you want. Now, I mean, I don't necessarily. This might not be go and do whatever you want right at the get go, but I do think it will be like an open world type game.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe they could be going for a like Ghost of Tsushima vibe. It's so hard to just like tell just from concept art, but it does look like a very like solo experience. So I'm not expecting multiplayer. Um, I
Hey,
also
people didn't expect multiplayer from Ghost of Tsushima either.
That's true. Um, I also would expect this to take place in forest areas more than like civilization. Even though the guy looks like he's a samurai and like he could definitely like march through a kingdom or something. Just the name Project Bloom makes me think that this is going to have a pretty big focus on nature in general. I don't know. At this point, we're just speculating for speculation's sake. Um, this is definitely a game coming out that I'm like, okay, I'm very curious to see what this actually is. It's probably going to be a while before we see any more on it, but I'm excited for when that comes.
Yep, we will see. Moving on, the next Mortal Kombat game is about to be revealed. This comes from the Mortal Kombat Twitter account. They tweeted, "It's almost time," with a video that was just of a clock counting
Yeah,
down.
so what they were doing is so it was like going 9, 10, 11, like the Mortal Kombats. So the next one you would think would be Mortal Kombat 12, but it skipped that and went to 1 because if you played the Aftermath DLC for Mortal Kombat 11, the timeline got reset. So it's like a reboot kind of. So we're gonna we're gonna have some interesting story stuff. I'm excited. I love Mortal Kombat story. It's like up there with Resident Evil for me for like video game stories that they're not great by any means, but man, I love them so much.
I'm not a big fighting game fan, but I do enjoy Mortal Kombat. Like those are the games where when it comes to like Game Pass and stuff like that, I always try them out. Especially because like graphically, Mortal Kombat is so fucking good looking.
Oh yeah, and all the detail they put into ripping people apart and everything. I'm so excited for that. Yeah, you just said that you're not much of a fighting fan, but like if you were to think of like fighting games, does Mortal Kombat stick out at the front for you? Because a lot of people I would talk to on like Twitter or something would probably say Street Fighter because Street Fighter 6 is coming out this year, so they're like super excited for that. I've never been a Street Fighter fan. I've always preferred Mortal Kombat, and I would always take that over Street Fighter personally.
I mean, for me, top fighting game is Smash Bros.
Well, yeah, that same. I meant like a more serious fighting
Yeah,
game.
I mean, Mortal Kombat is probably the only fighting game that I would consider ever paying money for. So
Hmm.
I'd say that that's a front runner. Like Soul
Yeah,
Calibur, I don't really care about. King of Fighters, no. Tekken doesn't really do it for me. Street Fighter, it might fall right behind Mortal Kombat for me, just because of like the mainstream popularity of that series.
the
But
significance of it. Yeah,
I still don't think I would ever spend money for Street Fighter.
neither. Yeah, Mortal Kombat is the one though that I would definitely go to. Like, give me Sub Zero, give me Scorpion, give me some bonkers story that ends up with half the cast dying and then they're back in the next game anyway. I love it. I eat it up.
John, moving on. The next topic you have here is so generic. I love it. What does Xbox have to do to get you to buy in to their hype again?
Okay, so last week on the podcast, I don't know if you listened to it. I had Chris Waterman on, and we were talking about Phil Spencer's comments on the Kind of Funny Xcast, and we just really came to the conclusion like Xbox is kind of lost us at the moment. Like we all prefer, and you're the same way. We prefer to play our third party games on there, but from a first party output, we're just so tired of like just being told wait till next year. It's just tiring. I've got fatigue with Xbox announcements. So I just kind of wanted to bring you in on that conversation because I needed a third topic and also just to hear what you had to say.
Yeah, I don't know. Like at this point, like I don't even know what I would want from them. Um, like I still prefer playing on my Xbox just because that's where all my friends play, like all the third party games and stuff. So that's still like my go to place to play. Um, I don't know. Like, oh, I'm back. I froze for a bit there.
You good? All right, cool.
I think I'm good. But yeah, what I was saying is like, I agree. I'm totally sick of the whole like, oh, we'll show you a bunch of stuff. Like what was last E3 when the or E3 in quotes, right? Where they said everything you're about to see is coming in the next year or something,
Hmm.
and the most major thing in there was Starfield, and that has been delayed so many
Delayed.
times now.
And
Um,
also Redfall, but that came out and that's been heavily underperforming.
I feel like Redfall only came out when it did. Like they didn't delay that because they felt like they needed to release something,
Hmm.
which
It
I also feel
does.
like they did. But I mean, come on, like something with. I haven't even played Redfall. I downloaded the game over the weekend before it came out. I was excited to try out a new game, a new first party Xbox game, and then all the bad came flowing in the day of release, and I just never even launched it. It's like
Here's the thing.
why would I want to
Yeah,
play something that everybody is saying is bad? Like
And
literally your thumbnail for last week's podcast made me laugh out loud because it just said this game is just bad or something like that.
this game sucks. This game just sucks, is what I put.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this game just sucks.
Yeah. So I played an hour of it, and I was like, and this is like one of the games I was super excited for this year. And I played it, and I'm like, it's not a terrible game, but it definitely probably should have been delayed at least a little bit to make it run better and to get that performance mode in there. Um, it's not terrible, but man, I came away after that hour and I was like, I can wait for updates. Like I don't feel any need to like play through this right now. So I'm kind of just waiting. I'll leave it on my Xbox and play it when there's a lull in the summer when
you,
Zelda
you
isn't
know,
consuming me.
you know what Xbox could do at the very least to get me to buy into their hype again is if they just started getting a few more like major third party releases coming day and date to Game Pass. I think
Mm-hmm.
that would go a very long way because right now Game Pass is essentially the only thing they have going for them. They have hardware and they have Game Pass. And the fact that Game Pass is lacking right now because there are no major first party games coming out on it. I mean, you have Starfield, but that's one game, major game in the last like 3 years, 2 years since Halo
Mm-hmm.
Infinite, probably. And even that is its own can of worms that we could talk about. But yeah, if they just started putting more money into just obviously we want them to make their own games. Like we want to see what Perfect Dark ends up being, but that's probably 5 years out at this point.
Right.
Uh, we want to see Fable at some point. We want to see what they're gonna do with Halo. God knows when, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
still actively working on Infinite, but who knows? Gears of War, you have to imagine there's something down the pipeline for that. Uh, but if they started putting more money like up front, like I don't know, like Diablo, for instance. Obviously, it's too late for that because they would want to market it coming to Game Pass for a while. But
Yeah.
something like Diablo, if they wanted to say, hey Activision, hey Blizzard, here's X amount of money. We want to put this major release on Game Pass day and date. Like, what can we do to make that happen? Just because like they want the Xbox name associated with these major titles, and Game Pass is probably the biggest um, revenue stream that they have right now.
Yeah.
Because we know like everybody who wanted an Xbox Series X or S probably already has it, right? Like people aren't going out there to get Series X's anymore. Like you can find them probably on Amazon right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think that they just need to put more money into trying to get major third party games day and date on Game Pass.
That is definitely a big area for them to go because I do feel like Game Pass is lacking and it's kind of taken a step backwards this year. In our Discord channel, me and Mike Zoke, who runs Game Pass Counter, um, we had this long-winded discussion about just like I think he said he like showed me the differences between the editions in Game Pass this May versus last year's May. Last year had like 12 games come. This year there's like 4 and like 2 of them had already been on Game Pass before, they were just returning. And it's like that's not exciting. That's not really a way to get your like, big streaming service like even more popular. I and then I look at the PlayStation Plus something plus
I
extra.
mean, there's extra, there's essential, there's premium. I don't even know. There's 3 different tiers, 4 different tiers.
Yeah, but they just added like 23 games to that, like for this month. Like that's insane, and that's a massive get for them.
To be fair though, Game Pass has been around much longer and already probably still actively has many more games than the PlayStation was
Probably,
does on its service. And I feel like it's going to be the same way cuz you're already seeing stuff getting taken off the PlayStation service and new stuff being put on. So
yeah,
it's going to be the same both ways. I think as of right now Xbox Game Pass is probably still the better deal just cuz there are more games.
yeah.
But yeah, in the long run, I mean, if PlayStation starts putting more and more games on it, then Xbox could potentially lose on that front too, with people wanting to, buy a PlayStation 5 now that there's no really major Xbox exclusive games coming out.
Yeah, the
Um,
one area that PlayStation's really been slow on that is getting their retro games on there. Like if they did that much faster, I would be bought in so fast. Play some PS1 and PS2 games on there.
the
I
problem
feel
with
like
that too is like there's a lot of licensing stuff now, right? Like different companies own different companies that made old PS1 games.
yeah,
Um,
but you like they're not even putting their own games on it is what I'm saying. Like I don't think they've added any Twisted Metal games yet. What are you doing, Sony?
yeah, you
That's
just revealed a trailer for Twisted Metal, which by the
yeah.
way, that trailer got me kind of excited to see Twisted Metal.
I didn't watch it.
It
Yeah,
was like a
I'll
literal, like a small teaser. But I also the Gran Turismo trailer got me excited. I don't know why I'm excited to see that. It looks corny as all hell, but
yeah,
I'm
that
excited.
I'm not about that one, but I did see people were excited for it, so that's good. Yeah, I just think I don't know. I don't know what it would take for Xbox to make me buy in. I guess I'm kind of in a spot where I need to see these games and like actually play them. I'm just so tired of waiting on State of Decay 3. I'm so tired of waiting on Fable, Avowed, like all these games. Like there's so many games here that we're like, yeah, I'm very excited for this, and they'll show us them at this Xbox showcase next month. I think it's like almost directly a month away from today, and we'll see it and we'll be like, yeah, that looks great, but oh look, still no release date for that. No kind of look at getting our hands on this anytime soon. Like if we just come out of this and we're like, okay, we're gonna get Forza in August, let's say, and then we're gonna get Starfield in what was that one, October, September, and then that's it. I'm gonna be like, cool, whatever, and I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the future holds, but right now Xbox is in such a bad place, and I feel like we've been saying that for months and months now. And
Yeah,
I mean, we're a few weeks away from their showcase. I'm curious to see what they show. Um, but as of right now, it seems like most of what they have on the horizon is really far in the distance. And like the last few Xbox showcases, they have said that they're trying to stay away from that because that's where they get caught up in, like Perfect Dark, for instance. Like they showed that, and now it's like we're not going to show it for 4 years.
the thing is that they've said that before that they're going to avoid that. They said that after Scalebound was canceled. They're like, oh, we don't want to reveal games too early anymore, and then they just did it like 8 more times. So we'll see. And I'm just so frustrated with Xbox right now because they have the potential, they have the resources, they have all of this going behind them to be like to really compete with Sony, but then they just fumble it so hard.
Yeah. John, take me through quick news. I'm getting sad talking about Xbox.
All right. All right, quick news. Dungeons are coming back in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Uh, they just kind of said in an interview, they're like, hey, yeah, dungeons are back, and it's not just the divine beast. Like these dungeons are acclimated to the environments around them. So
Cool.
very excited for that. Fall Guys is getting a creative mode, so you'll actually like be able to play community maps. That seems fun.
That's awesome.
That's something that may make me jump back in and give it a try because whenever you get a community creation thing in there, I
Sorry.
always want to see what
Keep
people
talking. One
can do.
second. Elisa's calling me.
Okay. All right. Next up, Dragon Age Dreadwolf is not set to release this year, according to EA. I don't believe that's the same thing as Dragon Age 4. I think that's a separate game, but they're not. They're saying it's not coming out this year. So sorry to Connor. Starfield's ESRB rating is out now, and it reveals that you will have jetpack sex. And I'm gonna wait for Joel to get back on here to tell him about jetpack sex. We're gonna Brandon Addison showed me that, and I ended up. What did I say? I was like, bring a new meaning to the Mile High Club. We'll go back to that. Nintendo has said their next console will not release this year, even though Switch sales are currently declining. That's not surprising at all. I've been going about this year thinking the entire time that the next Nintendo console is going to release sometime next year. So I would be very surprised if they even announce it this year. Like, I think this is a late next year item. You back?
I don't know. She tried calling me, and
And
I don't know. I answered
okay,
and it wasn't working.
all right. Did you see the Starfield ESRB thing came out? And it,
Yeah.
it says that you'll have jetpack sex.
Oh, I didn't see that. I just saw it was
Yeah,
rated M.
yeah, it's rated M, and there was like some stuff in there about it's like it was like going over some of the dialogue you say, and like one of the things that the character says is like, "I'm all about getting wild, but maybe next time let's do it without jetpacks or something like that." I'm like, oh, that's funny. All right. Where was I? Horizon Forbidden West sold over 8 million units so far. The series is now over the 32 million. Pretty damn good for a series in its opening day, still, I would say. Maybe not. I guess 6 years. Okay, whatever. It's still very popular. We have some Switch game sales milestones. Metroid Prime Remastered hit 1 million, which is good for the Metroid series. Splatoon 3 hit 10 million, which is, I want to say Splatoon 2 was around 15 million a while ago. So that seems like a pretty big win for them so far. And then Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are at 20 million, which obviously that's a lot. Yeah, a lot of people are like, "Oh, Metroid is so popular. Like, it has this very dedicated community. How did it only sell like 1 million?" And like the highest selling Metroid game ever is like Dread with like 5 million. Before that, it was the original Metroid Prime with like 3.5 million. It's just not a series that sells well. Hogwarts Legacy has made Warner Brothers over $1 billion, so we got that to look forward to for a bunch of Wizarding World stuff. We'll see how the Quidditch game does whenever that comes out. State of Decay 2 is getting its 33rd update. Ugh, I love State of Decay 2. I think it's a great game. I just want State of Decay 3, man. I'm ready to see what this game ends up being. I want to be attacked by zombie deer. A Plague Tale Requiem now has performance mode, and I might jump in again to play this. I need to go through and finish up all the achievements. I have to do like one more playthrough where I have to get like all of there's like these crafting tables that you have to open up. I think I have to just do that, and I'm good. That does it. You there, Joel?
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned because Elise called me and I tried answering and nothing. And I tried calling her and she didn't answer. So
All right.
I don't
Well,
know.
how about you give me what you're playing real quick and try and get through that if you can.
Um, so I on the car ride to Iowa, I started playing Golf Story because it was on sale a few weeks ago. I picked it up on the Switch, and I know a lot of people talked about how good that game is.
That's the original one, I want to say. The
Yeah,
new
and then
one's Sports Story.
Sports Story is the new one. Um, so yeah, I started Golf Story. I played for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed what I played. I'll probably keep playing it. The art style is really cool. The pixel art and all that stuff. Okay, Elise butt dialed me, so now I'm not worried anymore.
All right,
Because
good.
last time Elise texted me that she was on her way home and then called me like 30 minutes later. She got into a car accident, so I was worried that that's what happened again.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Golf Story is pretty cool. It's got like some witty humor to it in terms of like golf puns and stuff like that. Um, I'm enjoying it so far. That's
Nice.
pretty much all I got to say about it.
Yeah, it's just a good game.
Yeah.
Cool. I have been playing some Splatoon 3. Over the weekend, they had a new Splatfest that was Zelda themed, and it was Power, Courage, or Wisdom. the three teams to choose from. I went with Courage because I'm basic and like Link, but Power just wiped the floor. It like swept the competition. That being said, I mean Splatoon 3 is still fun to me. I'm kind of doing it the same thing now that I did with Splatoon 2, where whenever I'm like really bored and have nothing to do, I just hop in and play a game or two. It's not a game that I get super serious into, but I just enjoy playing it.
Cool.
If I
Um,
put too much time into Splatoon, it does get old to me pretty quickly because the matches are 5 minutes long and they only do the two maps. Like, I think they changed it so they now switch every hour or something like that. But it used to be like they only switched once a day, which was terrible.
yeah, I remember that was kind of rough.
Yeah.
I've been playing more Breath of the Wild. Um, I found that I enjoy playing it when I have like an interactive map up on my computer. In terms of finding shrines and stuff, because like I said before, I've done everything but beat the final boss, right? And at this point, I just need to up my stamina a lot, and to do that, I have to do a bunch of shrines, and it's just really fun to have an interactive map, see where they are, then go over there and do the Sheikah shrines. Um, so yeah, I've just been playing that in anticipation for the new game this Friday. Me and John are planning on streaming tomorrow night, Thursday night, if you're watching live, to try and beat the final boss. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
It's really going to depend on your health and stamina situation because what you've already defeated all four divine beasts, so you're going to knock half of his health down. So it should be manageable.
Cool. Yeah, I have a lot of health from what I remember. It was my stamina that was really low.
Yeah,
So, and
stamina is the important part.
I think I've already upped it 3 or 4 times since we played.
Nice.
So,
Okay, cool. All right. I've also been playing more Pokemon Emerald. Right now, I am 5 gyms in. Um, I mentioned last week on the podcast that I wasn't a very big fan of the way the Hoenn, that's what it's called, right? That region. I think it's the Hoenn region.
I
Um,
think so.
I'm not a big fan of how this region is laid out. But outside of that, it's fine. I think I'm a little let down by it. I was expecting this to like contend with like one of my favorites ever in the Pokemon series, but maybe just because I don't have that nostalgia, I'm just kind of like it's good. Kind of like your golf story thing where it's like I don't have much to say about this.
It's just another Pokemon game,
It's another Pokemon game. It
and
doesn't.
it probably looks really nice on the analog pocket.
It does look nice. Gotta love that analog pocket, man. I enjoy it so much.
Yeah. The other game I've been playing is Fortnite, um, which I kind of come and go with this game. But right now they have a Star Wars event going on where if you grind out all the quests and stuff, you get a Darth Maul skin. Which, I mean, come on, who doesn't want a Darth Maul skin if you're a Star Wars fan? So,
Mhm.
me and David have just been grinding that out, and it's been fun. I don't know. I like doing the quests in that game, but it could get tedious if you're doing the quests week to week. What I like to do is let a bunch of them build up because then like you play one match and you'll just see all these things popping because like you completed a shit ton of quests because they were all built up over 5 weeks or whatever it was. Um, so yeah, I've just been playing more of that and trying to unlock that Darth Maul skin. I think I'm probably about halfway there, so I'll be
Um,
playing more of that this week.
Brandon in the chat says, "Please tell me you're playing as Anakin and just order 66ing some kids."
I I did buy the Anakin Skywalker skin, so
Really?
technically yeah, but technically no because there's no kids in the game.
Mm,
I guess I've just been killing other kids that are playing the game.
gotcha. He
That's
also
more
said
likely.
he also said we should play that action figure FPS game. It's called Hypercharged Unboxed. I
Is it
don't think
out?
that's out. I don't think it's out yet. I'm following it on Twitter because it does look really interesting, and it's a game I want to reach out about. But I don't believe it is out.
Initial
Uh,
release date says January 31st of 2020.
nah, That's got to be a Steam thing.
Xbox era gave it a 8.5 out of 10.
Hold on. This is the thing. Like every time I go to check up on this game, okay, it says it's out now on Steam and Switch. It's not out on
That
Xbox.
that's really weird.
I didn't even know it was coming to Switch.
It's out on Switch already?
That's what
All the
their
videos all
website
the videos I
says,
see of this game look like it's super like high fidelity graphics.
right?
So
And
it's like
like
how is this on Switch already?
every time I see it talked about on Twitter, they're talking about the Xbox version. I've never seen a Switch version even mentioned. That's wild to me.
It
Okay,
is wild.
whatever. Um, yeah, I do want to play it when it comes to Xbox. Speaking of Star Wars and stuff, I talked about my experience with it last week. How do you like Jedi Survivor? Have you beat it yet?
Oh no, I've like barely played it. Um I don't know. I enjoy it a lot. The graphics are great. Um I can't play the 30 FPS mode just cuz I enjoy performance mode too much. And that game looks great when it's 60 frames, but the frame rate dips so much in that mode to where it kind of takes you out of it a lot,
Yeah,
which is unfortunate. So I don't know. I'll probably play more and more little by little, but I really want them to patch the game more. I know they came out with a patch the other day, but I didn't look at what it was or anything, so I don't know if it helped fix that issue I have with it.
I
But
think they're so focused on the PC version because that's the one that runs really bad right now.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I think once they patch the game enough to where it's very playable in performance mode, I'll probably jump back into it like pretty hardcore.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the graphics in that game are amazing. I think it looks amazing. It looks great.
Nice. All right. Have you been playing anything else?
No, I think that's gonna wrap up the show, John. Pretty
All right.
quick one.
Yeah. I mean, I said there's more stuff that we're talking about right now than we usually would, but we are still talking about May. Once
Yeah.
June hits, that's when we're really going to be popping off with news to talk about.
Yeah. That's going to do it for episode 229 of the Pixel Street podcast. As always, follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street. Check out our pin tweet there to join our Discord server where you can send us pictures of your dogs or cats or fish or geckos. What else do people have
Preferably
as pets?
dogs and geckos.
Dogs, geckos. If you have a gecko and a dog, if you're not taking pictures of them together, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life.
You'd be like,
Um,
oh, look at my dog and gecko. And we'll be like, where's the gecko? Because it's camouflaged into the dog.
and then also John Cena's in the picture, but he's also camouflaged, so you can't see him.
Yeah,
Also, check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Pixel Street Videos. Tomorrow, me and John are going to be streaming Breath of the Wild on there, so I can try and finally beat the game. So we'll see how that goes. I, it's very possible that I can't beat it, so we'll see.
I believe in you. We're going to get it done.
Yeah, other than that, you can find me on Twitter at Campo63 or twitch.tv/Campo63. John, where are you on them there internets?
On Twitter, I am at Revik Shadows. You can find my writing on my new website, gamesandwich.com. Also follow us on Twitter. We are at the Game Sandwich, and we also got a TikTok account up. And we're working on more stuff like a YouTube and stuff. We're going to be doing quite a bit of stuff. With Zelda coming out, we are doing Zelda Month. I put out an article last week, I think, or maybe it was this week, about one of the biggest failures the Switch has had since its release is not reviving The Legend of Zelda Four Swords. So give that a read, as well as the oodles and oodles of other Zelda content that we've been putting out.
Cool. We will be right back here next week with episode 230 of the Pixel Street podcast.
Bye.